Did you know that if you say their name several times while looking in the mirror, you can summon them? No, I'm not talking about Candyman. I'm also not referring to Bloody Mary. I'm of course talking about Kandisha. What? You have never heard of her? Hi there, it's Micha. Come in to find out more about that oh so original story. Well, let's start with telling you that I was only half joking. Saying her name several times is part of a ritual, ideally in a bathroom. You also need to draw a pentagram, preferably in blood, to summon her. Her that is the spirit of a Moroccan woman, Aisha Kandisha, whose husband was killed by 6 men. Therefore, she merged with a vengeful demon to take her revenge. Anywho, in the here and now, Amelie and her 2 besties are taggers, graffiti artists who love to go into abandoned houses to leave their marks. In one of those, they find the name Kandisha tagged on a wall. What a clever way to bring her name into the mix, right? Of course, one of the 3 girls is of Moroccan descent, so she knows the old legend of Aisha Kandisha. When you are a woman in peril, summon her, so she can save you and take revenge on your behalf. After her ex-boyfriend tried to rape her, Amelie does just that. Although the guy only saw a shape emerge, he is so freaked out that he runs into the streets and straight into a speeding car. But lo and behold, that is not the end of it. Like in the past, 6 men have to die to bring her bloody reign to an end, and she is not particularly picky in choosing candidates to kick the bucket. Meanwhile, the girls try to figure out a way to stop her, but the most effective option is not very attractive and will only be revealed to us towards the end.
Il y a 2 façons de stopper sa malédiction.
Alors la première, c'est d'appeler le démon, l'invoquer et de l'exorciser. La seconde, c'est...
Mais c'est quoi la seconde?
This French mix of demon and ghost story was one of the 2 movies almost universally scolded by the audience of the Fantasy Film Fest nights this year. Honestly, it isn't even as bad as it sounds. It is just not the most original material, as you can deduce from my opening remarks. However, the film seems to be based on a real legend, as there is also a Moroccan movie from 2008 with the same title about the Kandishan myth. By the way, the trailer for that previous one also doesn't promise a masterpiece, but at least has a more original angle than the current version, which mostly plays as a cheap Candyman clone. Beside the weak premise, the rest of the flick's screenplay is also not much to talk about. But as you know me, I will do a little of that in our spoiler zone. Like, there is no rule given as to how she chooses her male victims, besides them being guys Amelie knows. On the plus side, the cinematography was very appealing, especially in wide shots. Some scenes even created solid atmosphere. Unfortunately, the script was going from unoriginal to ridiculous, and so was the demon. In the earlier scenes, Kandisha was just a woman in a black burqa, mysterious and a bit creepy, while with every kill she gets more undressed, for no apparent reason, larger in size and more demonic looking, with goat's hooves and all. Therefore each kill gets more and more violent as she becomes more powerful, but also less thrilling. The special effects were mostly convincing, except for the one guy that burned alive, which looked really goofy. And some kills were quite graphic. The overall acting ranged from decent to mediocre, with neither big standouts nor catastrophic shortcomings. The cast was clearly assembled with the intention of being as diverse as possible, with one girl being Caucasian, one black, and one of Middle Eastern descent. And the script keeps reminding us of that fact by having them constantly calling each other out on their ethnicity. In a playful way of course, but this still heavily undermined the likely intended effect. As for the rating, I wouldn't call this movie a complete waste of time, but it is definitely something you can skip. The only thing it really has going for itself is the fact that it is a French horror flick, and there are not that many genre flicks coming out of France nowadays. So if you like French language movies, it might be worth giving it a go. If you just want to see a decent horror flick, look somewhere else. This all considered, I am rating the movie with 3 out of 10 points, but just barely. If you don't want to get spoiled but enjoyed this video so far, please like it now before you leave. And if you are no subscriber yet, maybe consider to change that. If you don't mind spoilers or have already watched the movie, please follow me into the spoiler zone. What really bothered me is the fact that the screenplay writers apparently wasn't even able to count. There were already 6 deaths going into the finale, so Kandisha was already done. Maybe they didn't consider the first death a kill of her, as the boyfriend ran in front of a car, but then she wouldn't even have fulfilled the task she was called for, giving her no right whatsoever to keep killing. They should have at least talked about this, but it was never mentioned why her killing spree continued after victim number 6. There was also no explanation why all of a sudden the victim pool switched from people Amélie knows to people close to the female friends. It just was. There was a big exorcism in the middle of a movie that was supposed to stop the demon, but there was no reason given why it didn't work. Instead, at the very end they try it again. To no effect. They even bring Amélie's little brother along, as they suppose either he or her father would be the final victim. Nice of them then to not even tell the father, who would have been easy prey, but of course the demon started there and then to become picky and went for the little brother everyone was trying to protect, which again made no sense. By the way, the only way to stop Kandisha would be for Amélie to kill herself, but her friends stopped her from doing so, but still blamed her for the deaths close to them. At least for a few seconds before they help her again. And that all only for Amélie to kill herself in the end to save her brother, rendering the last third of the movie obsolete. Would the girls just have let Amélie kill herself earlier? At least some of their loved ones could have been saved. I guess they will kick themselves for it now. But then the very end is so amazingly stupid, you won't believe it. Somewhere in the script it was mentioned that if she kills herself, she would take over Kandisha's place. Again, no reason given. So the little brother calls on Kandisha and his sister shows up. Why? That was also just stealing the open end from dozens of other horror flicks, and here it is stupid as hell. He called her without an assignment, so likely just 6 more people have to die, just so the brother can see his sister one more time. What the fuck? On that note, let's close the spoiler zone before I withdraw points from my rating. Have you seen the movie? What is your take on it? Let me know in the comments. That's it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like it and feel free to share it with your friends. And why not subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any future video. Make sure to also hit the notification bell to get a heads up whenever a new video is posted. So much for now, see you next time and thanks for watching!